Welcome back. Still down 0.25% on the Nifty and on the Sensex, 50-point decline. The good thing for the bulls is that it hasn't gained momentum on the way down. We're pretty much where we were. We started the show at 11. We've been ranging there and trying to form some sort of a base out there. So 18,776, that's where some of the buyers seem to be coming in. On the upside, apart from L&T, some other stocks where there's traction is Titan. And again, from the Tata Group, even a TCS for that matter. Remember, TCS was the only Nifty stock that was really down on Friday because of that deal cancellation. But since then, it seems to be finding stable ground. It was down 1.25% on Friday. It's up about 0.5% today. And that's Titan, the other Tata Group stock. So those two stand out in terms of the upside moves today. Well, speaking of moves, it's time to get our market conversation going. And our guest on the show today is Pramod Amthe, Head of Institutional Equity Research from InCred Capital. Pramod, great to have you on. We were just going through your note and some of the high conviction ideas. So I just want to put out there for our viewers as well. I think the stocks that have really done very well in InCred's high conviction list are three: Kajaria, Globus Spirits, and Zydus Life Sciences. These are the ones that have performed the best. They're actually not additions. They were already on the list, I think. They are the best performers in their list of high conviction ideas. The addition actually is Bharat Electronics. Let's pull up BEL as well, which also is quite the flavor of the day, courtesy all the defense buying that we're seeing. So Pramod, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining in. Let me first start with the addition stock, BEL. Tell us why you like it and what your overall view is on the defense theme, given the huge run-up. But perhaps, the long runway that lies ahead.
Sure. So the reason to add up BEL is, one, there is going to be a pre-election ordering for the voting machines, which if you look at even the past records, it seems to be even in 19, it has come through. So that is one to come through before the election. Second one is a large amount of export momentum, which they are gaining. Even though the management guidance is little muted for the FY24, we feel structurally there is a substantial momentum happening in the export for defense, which is not still factored in as we have seen a couple of signing deals to come through, even for US and India alliance coming through. So those are the couple of two business triggers which we are looking at, other than the relative valuation comfort in BEL to add up. Otherwise, defense broadly we are in positive territory. We like the defense as I would say as a theme. This is part of our broader investment themes of infra and capex, where the momentum continues to build up as we have seen the FY23 order inflow and the capex spend towards the sector.
Can I just ask you, apart from BEL, for which there are other triggers like you mentioned, like the EVMs, of course, in defense itself, which are the stocks which are still an add for you despite the huge rallies?
So we continue to like BDL and HAL, which are a positive momentum for our overall scheme of things in defense. And as we have seen in HAL, again, there are orders flowing through, right? So the order inflow is still substantial. The sales to order is, again, a substantial comfort. So the runway for momentum is clearly visible for the stocks in the defense space.
Okay, got that. Mr. Amthe, thanks a lot for joining us. So again, going through your list, I'm seeing a lot of the auto names. Take us through your call there, because the names like Tata Motors, you now have a reduced rating. Take us through the rationale there. Do you think these stocks have, run up way too much already? And also, what within the auto pack still seems favorably positioned right now, even if it's the ancillary companies?
Sure. So if you look at broadly, Nifty Auto has been in the limelight for the recent month, or I would say in the last year per se. People are trying to play out broadly the peaking out of the inflation or the interest rates, one. And second one is the broad-based recovery into the sub-segments of growth, including the two-wheeler, which is a rural momentum. So that's trying to come through. What we like or what we added in the high conviction in last 3 months is Ashok Leyland and Bharat Forge. We clearly feel there is a disconnect between the investor expectations on M&HCV cycle, both for India and global markets, and hence the relative valuation is substantially favorable to them. This is even before Ashok came out and talked about its aggressive guidance for next year. Within the run-up, if you have to see, we are a little cautious on what's happening on two-wheelers. We haven't seen a complete recovery there. If it has to flow through, we would prefer to play it through the ancillary space, in which we would play out through endurance as a preferred pick in the auto hang space.
Okay, got that. So those are some of the names. I mean, in terms of the high conviction bets which have done really well, let me just go back to Kajaria. That's of course been a great performer this week. So what's the rationale there, and are you still comfortable with the valuations?
So broadly, this is again a part of our investment theme on housing, where we have seen the second largest housing orders, or I would say the construction has started in this calendar year versus the last decade. So there is a substantial momentum in terms of construction and the renovation for both. And within that space, Kajaria fits out well, where the broader theme is one is on the momentum on demand. Second one is the gas prices slowing off. That should ultimately add up. And the way the organized to unorganized continues to flow through, as we see in the GST momentum, should also be much more favorable for this sector, which gives us a comfort on Kajaria and other construction-related names in the space related to housing.
Okay, got that. Another one that I'm seeing, which is, already moved a lot on your list, is Spandana Spurti. It's up, I think, 140% in the year. If you take a look at a 1 year kind of move, how much of an upside do you see on this one now from these levels?
Interestingly, our team member was there on the for a channel checks. Seems to be there is still a steam left in this space. Literally getting almost 60% of incremental demand coming from new customers in the MFI space. That gives a substantial comfort. And broadly, the theme which we are looking at to play in the NBFC or MFI space is compared to banks which are seeing the NIMs at a peak level. We have seen the NIMs to play out still in the NBFC or the MFI space. So that is a broader theme which we are looking at in the space. And in that, other than Bajaj Finance and MM Finance, we definitely like Spandana and Home First.
Okay, got that. Pramod, from an overall perspective, how are you looking at the mid-cap and the small-cap market now, given the extent of the rally? Do you still see more upsides ahead? What are you really telling clients with respect to micro-cap, small-caps?
So if you are right, there is the extent of move has been pretty swift. So if you look at, as the data points out, the FI seems to be much more inclined towards the large caps where the money is flowing through. So the domestics continue to get the inflow. So the churn is happening more for mid caps, both in the individual investors and the domestic funds. So hence we have seen the mid caps also moving through pretty sharply. Having said that, in terms of directionally for the market, we are positive. We turned positive in February. We continue to see that Nifty 50 should scale up a new high. Our official target is 20,330 for in our recent report, where we have talked about rolling forward the earnings. Within that mid-cap, we would like to be much more selective through our high conviction ideas. We see there is some amount of, in terms of valuation comfort, trying to miss out. So these companies have to come through with the earnings surprise. That's where we are more choosy about the specific names which we are trying to add up here than the across the momentum which we see in case of the broader index.
Okay, so within, all of these spaces, have you found any sort of pick from the real estate pack? Because a lot of these stocks have also moved, and seen sharp moves this year. So does anything within the real estate pack interest you right now?
We directly don't cover the sector as a real estate, and hence we are trying to play the proxies in the housing, including, as I said, is Kajaria is one of them, high convictions, which I have tried to mention there, and the banking space. HDFC and the Home First Finance is where our comfort lies.
All right, got that. Mr. Amthe, we're going to leave it at that. But thank you so much for joining us and taking us through all of these ideas that you have as a house. Very interesting chat, and we hope to have you back on the show very soon. With that, it is time for a short break. But when we come back, we're going to talk all about the markets. We're also going to bring you excerpts from our exclusive conversation with Titan Thanera CEO Ambuj Narayan. Stay tuned.